I think you asked me also, how did I come to have some activism or an activism streak? I think, honestly, if this is going to tell my age, and it's okay because I tell it all the time. But when I was a young girl, very young, I remember when the Lindbergh baby was kidnapped. And I remember feeling so affected by that and wishing I could do something. But the profound thing that had an impact on me was the murder of Emmett Till. And I used to think I was 15 when that happened. And then I think it was last year was the anniversary of his murder. And I actually realized I was 12. So I wanted to do something at that time. And that's how I ended up saying I wanted to go join the Freedom Riders when I was 15. But because my parents had instilled in me that there are other ways of making change other than putting myself in harm's way in the middle of riots and those kinds of things, I started working within systems. Trying to think outside of the NAACP, I've been a member of the Urban League, the National Black Women's Political Caucus, which was started by Shirley Chisholm. And I actually have a photo of me and some of the women that were the Portland chapter with Shirley Chisholm, who was the first Black woman to run for president. I have I'm a former commissioner, a former state commissioner for the Oregon Commission on Black Affairs. And I was appointed by Governor Neil Goldschmidt at the time. And then I was reappointed by Governor Barbara Roberts and confirmed by the Senate. And so we had, I had 2 terms with the Commission on Black Affairs. I have been a member of, and still am a member of Oregon Alliance of Black School Educators. I'm still very active in the education arena. I'm a former educator who spent my retirement on graduate school to go back and do this work. When I was an educator or being paid as an educator, I think once an educator, you're never not an educator. I worked for Portland Public Schools for 10 years. And when I went to Portland Public Schools, one of the reasons I went was to decrease the disparity in African-American male children and their achievement level. And that was an initiative from the Black communities, started from the Black United Front with Ron Herndon and Joyce Harris and Richard Brown and Abel Gordley and me and many other mothers and fathers and community members that we were looking for equity and justice and, you know, in all areas, business and education and civic life. And so, but the main thing was the education of our children, and because they were falling behind. So with Portland Public Schools, I worked for 10 years in a program that was supposed to be a pilot. And I was one of the creators of this program. And this program was called the Sabin Demonstration School. It was a school within a school. And we were at Sabin Elementary School in Northeast Portland. And the goal of the program was to demonstrate that all children can learn. That was our school motto. And our program model, in addition, was we can teach all children. And part of that was around using that motto was around a young educator, Dr. Ron Edmonds, who died long ago, died at a very young age, but left a huge impact. And his most profound statement that I carry with me all the time, and this translates from not just education, but it is into everything we do. We can, whenever and wherever we choose, educate all children. And I would say teach and work with all people. Whether or not we do, ultimately depends upon how we feel about it. So I feel very strongly about the work that I do. And I feel very strongly about equity. And so I try to, wherever and whenever I am, think about those words that Dr. Edmonds said. You know, if we're not doing it, it's because we are choosing not to based upon how we feel.